won't be. You know, we might be headed for another war within our own country, and a lot of people don't see that. And I'm hoping it don't come to that, but who knows? Who knows?
Keep telling people to slow down and think, man, and that's all it takes to stop some of this stupidity. Quit looking at it as a white versus black thing.
Yeah,
look at it as a stupid versus smart thing.
Exactly. That's what I was about to say. It all boils down to ignorance. Well, that's kind of take another break. This is the NorthcoastUnderground.com. The Underground starts with you. This is NorthcoastUnderground.com. The Underground starts with you. To remind you, there is OCB Jam Night coming up this Wednesday with special guest Kenny P. That's January the 14th. Kickoff time is at 7. It's open to the public, but please RSVP us. That's reserves. Say vous play.
Respond.
Say vous play.
Something like that.
Something like it. So we can get a head count. Call Diane at 216-503-5900. And if you are an artist and would like to contact us about being involved in it, contact RDUN, that's RDUN, at beonair.com. And he can get you set up with something there. I do want to make the statement that before anybody gets anything and we don't get killed on the way out of here, we are not racist people. It's not about racism. It's about, like we said before, common sense, and everything has to be boiled down to intelligent thinking. It's not about color. So with that being said, I want to talk about Obama.
Nice segue.
At Free Community College, what do you think about this plan he's got coming up?
I have not read a whole lot about it.
He's supposed to be announcing today, I believe, about.
Yeah, there's a little bit of speculation, and of course the news channels are all over it, already telling you what you need to think about it. Just another thing I hate about the news, but the
only thing I do know about it, he has made the announcement, or actually I read it on Twitter, where he has made the first announcement, and he's going to go more in depth today from the Air Force One that. He's looking into making community college free, and you have to maintain a 2.5 GPA in order to keep it. And, I don't have any problem with that. But the only thing I'm wondering, is it going to be tax dollars increased, or is it going to be completely government funded to where now we can't even afford Social Security, so we're going to pick up another debt? So that's the only thing I'm wondering,
Well, I mean, I don't want to jump the gun here into our next topic because I already know what's coming up next, but... when we started with this whole healthcare thing, it was supposed to be mainly government funded, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And then it got turned around completely ass backwards and got all kinds of screwed up, and it got canceled, and then it got revised, and then it got put out, and then it didn't work. And I don't know, man. I think we're trying to emulate other countries that actually have this in progress and working just fine, and I think we're going to end up screwing this one up too. He's already saying it's free for 2 years.
Well, the thing about it is, the thing about it is the reason why the health care is screwed up and you can't make it work is because it's not going to be free because we can't afford for it to be free. That's just the facts of the matter. I mean, we are $17 trillion in debt. All we're doing to fix this debt is raise the debt ceiling once a year, which is like buying another credit card to pay another credit card off.
You mean that doesn't work?
No.
Oh, I'm screwed.
I mean, it doesn't work for me. I mean, it might for the U.S. government. I mean, the thing about it is people don't realize the government has to be ran like a business. It's just the facts. And if Bill Gates and Donald Trump had ran their businesses the way the U.S. government is running this country, they would not have ever had any success. Microsoft would have never existed. So that's my point of view on that.
As far as the college thing, I mean, it's a good concept. It's a great concept. I mean, get people interested in going back to school, people that can't afford it, people that look at putting themselves in debt and saying it's just not worth it. I mean, there's a million different excuses, and I'm sure you've heard just about all of them come out of your own mouth before you got yourself enrolled where you're at right now.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's hard to look at $12,000 in debt and go, I'm barely making it as it is.
Yeah.
So, again, the concept is great. It's the implementation of the concept that I'm kind of worried about.
Right.
So, I mean, I guess we get to hold our breaths and see what happens.
And on to the Obama, we were talking about the health care. How we're getting screwed in that area again. The House passed a bill this week that now full-time has gone from 30 hours a week to 40 hours a week. Now, a lot of people... They think
full-time by definition of the health care bill.
Right, the health care bill. Now, a lot of people think this is good in the sense that part-time workers will get more hours, and they will. But what they're going to do now, instead of working them 28 hours a week and still not having benefits, they're going to work them 38 hours a week and still not have benefits.
Oh, yeah. These employers aren't stupid. I mean, they're going to run their business like a business.
Right.
Much like you said the government should be run. The employers aren't going to give you anything for free. That's just the long and the short of it, man. Look at how many people, myself included, got their hours cut a year ahead of time.
Well, Sam Walton, he didn't make Walmart being stupid. And all those people, they got
my opinions on him, but I'll keep them to myself.
Most of the people got rich because they knew loopholes. They knew how to make things work and then get around, certain things. So they're going to find out a way to get around. I was just like I was telling them somebody the other day when they was talking about taxing the 1% more. Well, all the rich are going to do is take these jobs out of here and put them in other countries where they're not taxed.
Right.
It's that simple.
I mean, half of our call centers right now are forwarded to India as it is.
So. Oh, I know, man. I get them. I had one call me from Dale one day, and he was like, hello, I'm like, hey, man, just call me when you can get me somebody on here who can speak some English. I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yep.
I mean, and then I had one calling me from an acting thing one time telling me, we got a movie coming out, MASH. You know what that is? I'm like, yeah, MASH, man. 11 Emmys? Yeah, I know a little bit about it. But, yeah, well, we got to take another break because we went running a little bit tad over. We're going to get back. I'm going to talk about these United Airlines flight attendants that got fired this past week here on the NorthcoastUnderground.com. The Underground starts with you. NorthcoastUnderground.com. The Underground starts with you. This is Sugar Shane back. Got Dave Diggity going to read you something here he got from account to show you that we're not just being the way we, against Muslim or Islam.
Yeah, going back to what we were just talking about, and it's kind of funny to hear something from somebody as prominent as the leader of the Lebanese Hezbollah group. Quote from the Sheikh, and I'm probably going to slaughter this man's name, so I apologize ahead of time. The Sheikh, where'd it go? Hassan Nasrallah says that Islamic extremists have insulted Islam and the Prophet Muhammad more than those who published satirical cartoons mocking the religion. So let that sink in. Same thing we were just talking about 15, 20 minutes ago. The leader of one of those groups has basically just came out and said the same damn thing we just said.
Yeah. It is attacking the Islamic group, and I'm for freedom of religion no matter what you want to do, whether it be you want religion or don't want religion or whatever the case may be. You can believe in worshiping, whatever to me. I don't care.
Flying spaghetti monsters.
Yeah, it doesn't make a difference to me. But don't involve violence, no matter what the case may be. That being said, I do want to talk about these 13 flight attendants. See what you think about it, Dave. I don't know if you heard about it. They got fired. They got fired, and the reason why they got fired, they're going out to the plane, and they look on somehow they see the bottom of the plane, and it's got written "bye-bye" underneath it with some menacing-looking faces on it. And they refused to board the plane until everything was checked out, and United Airlines decided to fire them because they wouldn't, comply and get on the plane. Now, I don't know, man. I mean, I would be kind of weary to get on that plane my damn self, be honest with you.
Oh, I'm definitely not laughing at the pilots and the flight crew. My aunt is actually
that's right,
a flight attendant, and I can pretty much guarantee you that if she would have been one of those people approaching the plane, she would have done the same damn thing.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you think about it, it's like, I don't know. I'm pretty sure probably nothing ever came of it, but the thing about it is you don't take a chance.
Absolutely not. I'm amazed. You said this was which airline?
United. This
United?
is twice.
Okay.
This is twice. This is also the airline that did that about the the kid with cerebral palsy. The one flight attendant wouldn't let her kid sit with her. I talked about this past week. That she said that it was against the guidelines. For her to sit in her lap, and people with cerebral palsy can't sit up upright.
Right.
And so, but that's two things they've had in the news in the last week or 2 weeks. So,
well, I'm not real clear on the first or the second one, but why didn't somebody else notice this? Why, when it was noticed and brought to the attention of anybody, how can you turn around and punish the flight crew for it?
They're suing. All 13 of them,
I'm
I
sure
believe.
they are.
And they should win.
Yeah, I fully encourage that.
I'm not one for lawsuits over petty stuff like hot coffee being spilt on you, but something like this, yeah, this is completely wrong.
Well, you're bringing up something that could be a potential safety threat. If somebody's putting okay, look, if we're not going to tolerate kids waving around fake guns without people getting shot, why would you allow an entire plane load of people to take off when somebody took it upon themselves to write even a joking threat on the side of an airline?
Right.
When did that become okay? I thought airline security was supposed to be tight and pretty much on the verge of paranoid at this point.
Yeah, I mean, to me, if you've seen this, I would not have gotten on it myself. I mean, just
Absolutely
speaking from my point of view, I would have been a passenger and seen this. My ass wouldn't have got on the plane.
Now, let's say that they did get on the plane.
Yeah.
And that they noticed it and went, yeah, it's no big deal. That plane gets a couple thousand feet in the air and goes up in flames.
Yeah.
Boom. How many lives went completely out the window, no pun intended,
Right.
because somebody ignored a potential threat?
Yeah, and yeah, you're right. It could have saved somebody's life. Like I said, I don't think anything ever came out of it. I don't think a bomb was found on the plane or not. It was probably just some idiot messing around. I don't know. But because we do have stupid people out there, unfortunately, that would do something like this just to put a scare into people. But the fact of the matter is, you have to think ahead and realize, hey, this may be the real deal.
Yeah, you can't tell your flight crew, your pilots, your flight attendants, your baggage people, you can't tell them to keep their eyes open for anything suspicious and then turn around and punish them for not getting on the plane.
We got 5 more minutes because I'm going to go ahead and talk on up to 2:09. We're running behind on the talk time, so I'm just going to go ahead.
You know what? Go ahead, man.
So we'll get back to the music here in a little bit. Connecticut orders I don't know if you heard about the 17-year-old with cancer.
Not sure.
She was a patient. She was told that she needed chemo to live. And she took a stand saying she didn't want to take chemo because of the toxins in your body. She has Hodgkin's lymphoma. And she didn't want to undergo it. Well, and her parents were backing her too. But I'm kind of mixed on this because she didn't want to do it, and the Connecticut courts ordered her that she had to take it. And the reasons why I'm kind of mixed on it is because if she didn't do it, she was definitely going to die. And if she did do it, there's an 85 to 90% success rate of this chemo treatment. 85 to 90%. So I'm kind of mixed there. And, I know
you can't order somebody to undergo treatment.
Well, I agree. I mean, I'm not saying that that the order came through. Everybody's got their own, your own life. You can do with it what you will. Just like I backed the woman that had brain cancer that went ahead and took her own life because I probably would have done the same. I wouldn't want to live in that kind of pain and enduring that for. Yeah, you're going to die anyway.
Your only option at that point is go through hospice care, and all they're going to do is dope you up so you don't feel it until you're dead anyway.
But I mean, I don't understand why her parents here wouldn't say.
How old was this girl?
17.
17 years old. So well within that logical realm where she can make that decision for herself.
Right.
And her parents, being her parents, said, well, if that's your choice, then we'll respect that choice. At which point the state stepped in and said, I guess
the hospital contacted the state, and the state did a court order, I'm assuming. That, I'm not saying the court order was right. The only thing I wonder is, did the parents actually weigh out their options and say, look, you're our daughter, we want you to stick around. You got an 85 to 90% chance success rate here if you endure this just for a little bit, I mean.
But neither one of us is experiencing the pain that this girl is. You don't know exactly how far it's gotten. Yeah. And if her quality of life is that terrible that she just does not want to continue, and you've got a barely acceptable risk rate of her even surviving anyway.
Yeah.
You're going to tell me the state has the authority to step in and say, we don't care? You're going to do it anyway?
Now, like I said, I don't agree with the whole court order. I mean, like I said, a person's got to do with their own life. I was all for Kevorkian. A lot of people I was all for it because the people that he was doing it to were people that were going to die anyway. There was no hope and no options. So, I mean...
Well, that's another example of religion getting their fingers entangled in government. I mean, these weren't people that he was actively going out and seeking. and saying, "Hey,
They saw him.
pay me a whole bunch of money, and I'll help you die," and putting a positive spin on it.
Right.
These were people
They sought him out.
Yeah, they wanted out for whatever their reasons were, and most of them had legitimate reasons. I mean, again, you can't impose your religious views on everybody just because you've got the ability to.
Yeah, I don't know how the government, I really don't, and I think they probably could have a case if they wanted to appeal it, because I don't see how the state can just step in